How's it going, guys and geeks? Welcome back to the Geekritique show. My name's Dakota.
I'm Jen.
And this is Luna, who's slowly getting bigger and bigger every time we do a Geekly vlog. This time around, we asked you guys, what should Warner Brothers do with the DC film universe now, after Justice League could potentially lose anywhere from $50 million to $100 million at the box office because of its critical reception and people just don't care to see it. So we asked you guys what you wanted, and more people than ever before.
More than double any votes that we've ever gotten before. 821 votes. So you guys are very opinionated on this matter, and we're really excited to have a discussion on this. 32% of you voted in on they should focus on solo films for their DC characters. 5% voted there are no problems with the DCEU. Keep making good films.
5% of you are
the minority.
Lying to yourselves.
All
Just
right.
kidding. No. Some people like it.
People are allowed. I liked Justice League. I said it. 29% of you voted scrap what doesn't work, fire and hire the right people, fix it. You guys are like really wanting to cut to the chase here.
Yeah, seriously.
20% of you say it's too late to save it, just reboot the series, do it right. 15% of you say they should sell the rights back to Marvel, which we were joking when we wrote that.
Oh yeah, that was obviously a joke, but sometimes with these kind of things you need a little bit of levity, so we'll be answering all of your comments. Well, not all of them, but a large majority of them, because there were so many this time. But we'll try to get to the best comments, and then we'll leave the joking comments towards the end.
And two, what I think is really cool about your responses to this are there's not just one that's like clearly the most dominant response. It is pretty even, so it shows that there are a lot of different options that DC can take moving forward.
Yeah, and I'm gonna film this in a flat color grade so that I can color grade later so that it looks more like the DC extended universe. I don't know how well that's gonna work because most of that stuff is done in a studio, not outside. So we'll see.
So Jose Zapita II, you say, honestly, the only good thing out of the DCEU is the Wonder Woman. And yeah, after Batman vs Superman, that was pretty much my sentiments. But now they have the Flash, and I also like Ezra Miller as the Flash.
I think he's talking about the films themselves.
Oh, the Wonder Woman film. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I stand by what I said. I liked Justice League. It was flawed. It was obviously cut to bits, and it was the product of two directors, unfortunately. But it was still a fun time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it when
Yeah.
I was watching it, but call me crazy. Okay, so Probot, you say, haha, sell the rights back to Marvel? Back? They never had them in the first place, right? Yeah, I feel that they should focus on the solo films. No need to push team films like Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad, and Justice League. The first time we meet the Flash is from Justice League. The movie is too short to focus on characters individually. And yeah, that's pretty much been the problem. You know, they're trying to get to phase 4 without putting in the work for it, which is kind of dumb.
They should work on making really solid solo films with little things mixed in to possibly set up doing something in the DC universe in the future. If only they had started that way. Start with developing each character for a couple films, maybe have a crossover or two, before having the big Justice League movie, similar to what Marvel did.
Yep.
Again, it's like, if only. We could have had two really good universes instead of one really good universe, and it's not even, I wouldn't even say it's a copycat, it's just rushing to get to where they want to be, you know? They tried to build their universe around the way that Nolan brought reality to his Dark Knight trilogy, and that simply will not work with fantastical characters like Wonder Woman, like Superman. Also, the casting has been seriously poor, and the less said about the scripting, the better. Apart from Age of Ultron, I have never watched a Marvel film and thought, hold up, there's something missing here. And that has happened with every DC film so far. Quit while they're behind.
Oh.
I didn't see that one coming. Actually, that's really interesting that you mentioned that, because that is also the only Marvel film I felt that was definitely missing a lot of its content. And that's because they literally cut out an hour and 10 minutes from Age of Ultron. The film was originally 3 hours and a half, and it turned out to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. So they definitely cut a lot of that film out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Dark Knight, you say, as long as the stories are good and they respect the source material, I don't care what they do. Reasonable. And Becca, you say, I think they should focus on just trying to get those right and not rush. I think that's the main thing they've suffered from. And if they hadn't, those movies could have been so much better. Oh, you're getting me all dirty, girl. You're getting me dirty. Look at this. All right. No, seriously, stop.
Jamie D, you want to reboot the universe. You say, honestly, I feel like Flashpoint should really be used to reboot the cinematic universe, remove what's not working, keep what is, and bring in more fun and color. That's been a point of contention for a lot of fans and critics alike. I love DC and the movies have been good, but I don't think the DCEU can continue the way it's going, whether that be solo films or whatever else is going on. Or whatever else they're doing. What is going on?
I don't know. She's just like pulling me all around.
Jen forgot the other battery in the car, so there she is coming back. It is a lot windier, and it's a little chillier than we were expecting today to be. December 1st.
Yeah.
I mean, this is appropriate temperature and stuff, but
I kind of forgot it's December 1st, so.
this morning was pretty warm actually.
Yeah.
Where we were anyway.
I think because we're right next to the Hudson and we're elevated, it's colder up here.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, we are on Burger Hill. It's a bald near Rhinebeck, and great view, but the hill is a lot larger than it looks like.
A lot of things didn't meet our expectations today, long story short.
True.
Up here is crazy. Yan, you say DC should go back to what they do best, making solo films or trilogies. The Batman and Superman films made those characters world famous. Give Batman to a writer-director like Christopher Nolan and get the Dark Knight trilogy. give it to a committee to write with Zack Snyder at the head, and you get a painfully average film. If you can't make money off some of the biggest names in comic books, then you're in the wrong business. Yikes.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been saying for the past, week since we found out about the box office numbers for Justice League. To find out that the most profitable characters ever are now not profitable at all is really sad, and it's partly because they've been dragged through the mud. If they were to change things up, make solid trilogies with directors and producers who know what they're doing, and have a solid vision for going forward, and not just change it up every other film, it could be a lot better. Casey the Human, a reboot would hurt it more than fix it, so it makes the most sense to decide what works and doesn't. Get rid of people, add new characters, and look at what their competitors, Marvel, do to make their cinematic universe work. I think to some extent they're looking at what Marvel's doing and they like what they're doing, but they're trying to come up with a different approach to it, which isn't a bad thing. It's just you need to first make sure that your approach works and not just be different for the sake of being different.
Almost at the top.
That's the Mombacus, that little high point, which is literally called high point. That is the Pikamoose table, this little table of mountains here. I think that is the slide, Cornell, and then Wittenberg over there.
Even though I love Zack Snyder's work in the DC films, unfortunately it's obvious critics don't like his work. Also, they should remove Joss Whedon because there were too many sexist Wonder Woman jokes and made her look really bad in Justice League. And obviously David Ayer may never come back.
Now, do you think the film was sexist in any way towards Wonder Woman?
I know some people said so.
What about the scene where Flash falls on top of Wonder Woman's dress?
I don't know. A lot of people had a problem with that. I didn't. Sorry if that makes me sexist against myself. But it literally didn't bother me at all. You're beautiful.
We have to put Superman's opinion in here. He says the WB execs need to stop getting too hands-on. Let the directors do their jobs and stop announcing unnecessary films like Suicide Squad 2, Deadshot, Batgirl, Nightwing, Deathstroke, Gotham City Sirens, and Joker solo films are not needed. Joker solo films, plural, with different Jokers. We need The Flash, Green Lantern, and Cyborg first, then Wonder Woman 2, Man of Steel 2, The Batman, and Justice League 2. Then you can do films for villains, not, your third film in. Do a Bat family movie instead of giving Nightwing and Batgirl and Nightwing their own films. But most importantly, WB needs to let their directors breathe and let them do their movie.
Forget the previous movies, make solo films.
The 8 Gaming, I don't think Marvel has the resources or the time to do 3 DC films a year on top of the 3 they are already doing for the MCU. Since the best movie in the DCEU franchise is the Wonder Woman solo film, I think if they did a trilogy for every one of their characters and fleshed them out like Marvel did, and made the movies right, fleshed them out, not flush them out, and made the movies right, they could do a multiverse better than Marvel. Because between me and you, DC is more what I'm interested in. It's just between us, man. Finally, The only other way I could see them do something is if they do a soft reboot like the New 52 did, to just give a new starting point, but still keep the old stuff canon. I'd be super interested to see how they would do that. Alright, so now we're gonna just rapid fire read a few of the comments that you guys gave for they should sell the rights back to Marvel, because it was too funny not to do. Yeah, that makes sense. I like the way you spelled sense.
Marvel does films right. Selling DC rights to Marvel would literally improve it tenfold, and also bring in people that never really got into the DCEU. That's how I see it, at least.
Marvel can fix that mass.
It's about time we finally get to see that Plastic Man and Mr. Fantastic crossover everyone has been asking for.
Epic. Either copy the MCU formula or just sell them to Disney, or both.
Marvel always finds a way to make it right.
Please stop hurting me. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful day. It's warmed up a little bit now that we're like not going up the hill and we're like in direct sunlight. But I really don't know what to do for next week's Geekly poll. So Sunday, you'll see it at noon. Our next Geekly poll, probably something along the lines of superhero films and what you enjoyed this year.
Yeah. We'll wrap up with 2017.
We'll wrap up with 2017. Alright guys, thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one. Last minute controversial opinion. This has nothing to do with the DCEU, but my favorite part of The Phantom Menace is the song at the end.